Welcome back to our channel. We invite you to embrace the moment by liking the video, sharing your reflections in the comments, and subscribing to journey with us through our latest stories. One fleeting conversation unraveled everything I believed, igniting a spark I never dared to explore. It began on a seemingly typical Friday night. Mark, my husband, was late again, just like so many nights before. The clock ticked, and a familiar ache settled in my chest. He casually mentioned that Richard, his boss, wanted to talk about something significant over dinner, and to my astonishment, I found myself invited too. Our paths had crossed only a few times, each encounter wrapped in the formality of work. He was a man in his early 60s, exuding a charm that was both magnetic and dangerous. His charm drew everyone in, but there was an undeniable hint of something unspoken, a secret that lingered just beneath the surface. The thought of dinner filled me with a sense of dread. Mark's work events were always so formal, drenched in hollow conversations and strained smiles. Yet I longed to be there for him, so I donned a sleek navy dress, formal enough for the moment, yet soft enough to let me breathe. As we stepped into the restaurant, the soft glow of the dim lights and the gentle strains of jazz wrapped around us. My heart sank when I saw the table set for 3, not 4. "Where's your wife?" I asked Richard as we settled in. His smile wavered just a flicker. "Oh, she's away visiting her sister," he replied nonchalantly. "Just the 3 of us tonight." The waiter poured a deep red wine into our glasses, and for a moment, the conversation flowed as expected. Work, company changes, the usual. But then, between the appetizers and the main course, Richard changed the tone. "I have to say, Mark," he said, swirling the wine, "you're an incredibly lucky man." Mark chuckled, his gaze lingering on me. "I know." Richard's gaze held mine, a heartbeat stretching between us before he finally broke the silence. "A woman like that, graceful, intelligent, and still stunning at 47, that's rare." My cheeks flushed. The compliment caught me off guard, but it was the way he spoke that lingered, slow, deliberate, as if he wanted those words to hang in the space between us. Mark chuckled lightly, his carefree demeanor shining through. "You're just flattering her, Richard." Richard's smile lingered, yet his eyes held a depth that hinted at unspoken feelings. "Maybe," he murmured, sipping his wine, "or maybe I'm just being truthful." The dialogue shifted, yet I couldn't dismiss the sense that Richard was guiding it toward something deeper. His words, his glances, each carried a weight of unspoken desire. As dessert arrived, my heart raced, a tension I couldn't fully understand coursing through me. In that moment, Richard leaned in closer, his elbows pressing against the table, creating an electric tension between them. "I've been holding on to a thought for too long," he murmured, his voice a soft, steady whisper. It felt like a secret waiting to be shared. Mark raised an eyebrow, a hint of intrigue in his expression. Richard's eyes briefly met mine, a spark of something unspoken passing between us before he turned back to Mark. As we age, life can become a series of familiar patterns. But there's something intoxicating about stepping beyond those boundaries, about embracing the thrill of the unexpected. I shifted in my seat, my stomach tightening not from the rich food but from the heavy tension in the air. An unspoken connection lingered, thick with unacknowledged feelings. Mark's brow furrowed. "I don't quite understand." Richard breathed out slowly, weighing his words with caution. "I care for you, Mark, and I honor the vows you've made. I've always thought some boundaries can bend, given the right moment." A hush enveloped the table. My heart raced. I sensed that Richard's next words would alter everything. He gazed deeply into my eyes and whispered, What if, just this once, we dared to blur the lines? The air in my lungs felt heavy, like a secret I couldn't share. My fingers gripped the stem of my wineglass, a rush of longing coursing through me. Mark's eyes widened, caught in a moment that felt both electric and wrong. His face a canvas of confusion and disbelief. In that instant, my mind raced with the question, what does he want us to say? A chill coursed through me, contrasting sharply with the restaurant's warm glow. I clutched the wine glass tighter as Richard's words lingered, dense and suffocating. Mark blinked, his face transforming from confusion to an inscrutable depth. I'm sorry, Richard, but I need you to clarify what you mean. Richard leaned back, a slow, knowing smile playing on his lips. He remained composed, as if this intimate exchange was as ordinary to him as chatting about the weather. I meant every word, he said, his gaze lingering on the bottom of his glass, the wine swirling like unspoken desires. A shift in the air, a thrill of the unexpected. My heart raced. Was he truly hinting at what I feared? I stole a glance at Mark, yearning for him to intervene, to set boundaries, but he remained quiet, lost in thought. The silence wrapped around us, heavier than Richard's words. I'm not sure what you're hoping for, I finally replied, my voice steady yet resolute. Richard let out a breath, a hint of mischief in his eyes. No expectations, just a thought. His eyes darted between me and Mark. You've been tied for over 20 years, haven't you? Mark nodded, a flicker of hesitation in his eyes. 23. Richard's smile lingered, a hint of something deeper in his eyes. That's a long time. Something so beautiful yet so wrong. Yet enduring love. They change, don't they? Hearts evolve. Change is essential. Keeping the spark alive often requires daring to tread where we shouldn't. My heart raced wildly. My heart raced, drowning out everything else. Are you suggesting you believe we should stir the pot? I asked, my voice trembling with unspoken longing. Richard tilted his head, his gaze lingering with an intensity that felt both thrilling and dangerous. What I mean is, sharing someone you love doesn't always mean losing them. It can be something beautiful. My breath hitched, a mix of longing and fear. The implication hung heavy in the air, unmistakable. He was speaking of me, of the vows I had taken. It was an arrangement I had never dared to imagine. I looked at Mark, my heart racing as I searched his face for a sign of disapproval, a boundary that would confirm we were not the type to entertain such ideas. But instead of anger or disgust, I found something unexpected in his gaze. My heart raced with doubt, a tight knot forming deep within me. Mark! My voice slipped into a whisper, a fragile request laced with longing. He brushed his fingers through his hair, a heavy sigh escaping his lips before he finally found the words. Richard, I'm not sure how you perceive our marriage. But you haven't turned me away. Richard interrupted, his glass settling down with a soft clink. His eyes sparkling with an unspoken secret that left me breathless. Assurance. Delight. Mark's silence enveloped us, the tension hanging heavy like an unspoken secret. I took a deep breath. Why was he allowing this to linger? What held us back? Listen, Richard pressed on, his tone soft yet firm. I don't mean to upset anyone. This is not about undermining your vows. It's about something deeper. It's about pushing boundaries. Wondering if those boundaries truly matter. My breath caught in my throat. The soft jazz from the restaurant faded into the background, becoming a mere echo as the world shrank to this moment, this table, and the unthinkable choice Richard had laid before us. With a nonchalance that belied the weight of the moment, Richard reached into his pocket, retrieving a sleek black card and sliding it across the table to Mark, their eyes locking in a charged silence. "Just think about it," he said softly. "If curiosity wins over certainty, you know where to find me." Mark's gaze lingered on the card, heart racing, frozen in place. I couldn't bring myself to glance at it. Men like Richard were legends, powerful and magnetic, their desires cloaked in charm. They turned the most scandalous proposals into whispers of reason, leaving a thrill in their wake. Yet here I was, never imagining I'd find myself face to face with him, the very one who captivated my heart. Craved freedom. I had to escape that place. I pushed my chair back, standing up suddenly, my heart racing. "I believe this is where our paths diverge." Richard's expression remained unchanged, as if he had anticipated this moment all along. His smile held a secret, a fleeting moment that felt both thrilling and wrong. "Fair enough," he murmured, hands lifted in a gesture of reluctant acceptance. "No pressure. Just a fleeting thought." Mark finally stirred, breaking free from the spell that had ensnared him. "I think we should go," he whispered, pushing the untouched card back toward Richard, a hint of longing in his eyes. I couldn't wait any longer. I stepped out of the restaurant, the weight of their stares lingering in the air, but my heart was already racing toward the unknown. The cool night air brushed against my skin, a stark reminder of the chaos swirling in my mind. I felt Mark's footsteps drawing closer, a thrill of danger in the air. I thought he would feel the same shock, the same dread that gripped me. But when he finally spoke, his words pierced through me like a forbidden secret, leaving me breathless. "Do you think he was serious?" Froze, my heart racing. I turned to my husband, desperate for a sign, wishing I had misunderstood. But the truth in his gaze confirmed my worst fears. In that instant, a deeper truth struck me, more startling than Richard's proposal. Mark wasn't merely unsettled by Richard's words. He was contemplating them. The ride home felt heavy with unspoken words. Mark's hands clenched the steering wheel, his jaw tense, gaze locked on the road. I sat rigid in the passenger seat, arms crossed, my thoughts swirling from the moment we just shared. Richard's voice lingered in my mind, a haunting reminder that to ignite passion, one must tread into the unknown. A wave of unease washed over me. As soon as we crossed the threshold, I tossed my heels aside, my heart racing as I turned to Mark. "Please tell me you're not really considering this." He let out a sharp breath, his fingers tangling in the hair at the nape of his neck. He paused, uncertainty hanging in the air. His hesitation sent a shiver through me. I held my breath. "Mark, I don't know," he confessed, finally locking eyes with mine. "Caught me off guard." "That's putting it mildly," I retorted, my heart racing. "It crossed every boundary. And the way you didn't put an end to it right away." I shook my head, words escaping me. He sighed, closing the distance between us. "It surprised me, all right. I never saw it coming." Neither did he, yet I couldn't linger on the thought. My voice trembled, the heaviness of the night enveloping us. "What is there to think about, Mark? This isn't who we are." He averted his gaze, lingering in silence before sinking onto the couch. "I know," he whispered, a hint of longing in his eyes. "But I can't say. Perhaps he holds some truth." I gazed at him, my heart racing with a mix of longing and uncertainty. "Right about what?" Mark breathed out, his hands covering his face. "We've been together for 23 years, Liz. Our love is deep, yet it feels like a secret we must guard. But you can't honestly say you haven't sensed it. The familiar pattern. The predictability, he murmured, his eyes searching mine, a hint of trepidation lingering in the air. It's not bad, but it lacks the spark it once had. I crossed my arms, heart pounding. Is this really your answer? No. That's not what I mean, he replied, urgency lacing his words. I can't believe I'm saying this. Richard opened my eyes to feelings I never knew existed. I shook my head, feeling a tightness in my chest. I can't believe this. Mark ran a hand through his hair, frustration etched on his face. Liz, I'm not saying I want to go through with it. His voice faltered, a weight of unspoken longing hanging in the air. I need to know why this is tearing me apart. It was as if the world around me had warped, plunging me into a reality where my husband was considering this. I inhaled deeply, searching for balance. Mark, I can't grasp what you're thinking, but I have to say this. I can't, she whispered, her heart racing. He looked away, understanding the weight of their unspoken bond. I understand. And that's all that matters to me. Is it? Press. Because you keep insisting you're only thinking. But what if that thinking ignites something more? And what if curiosity ignites a deeper longing? Mark sighed, his fingers brushing against his temples, a mix of longing and regret swirling within him. I love you, Liz. I can't bear the thought of losing us. Then don't take the chance, I replied, my voice trembling with pain. Because even thinking about it alters everything. He met my gaze, his eyes holding a secret. I can't bear to lose what we have, he whispered. I searched his face, yearning for the man I once believed in. He remained close, yet uncertainty lingered in the air. For the first time in 23 years, I questioned if love could truly be enough. The following days were charged, heavy with unvoiced feelings and lingering looks that spoke of something more. Mark struggled to maintain a facade, brewing coffee in the quiet morning, his eyes searching for a glimpse of my day. Yet, an unspoken burden hung between us, a secret neither dared to confront. An undeniable change lingered in the air, heavy with unspoken desires. Despite Mark's words of disinterest, I could sense the unspoken desire lingering in his thoughts, a secret that felt both thrilling and wrong. And that was enough to unravel my entire world. On Friday evening, I found myself alone on the back porch, a glass of wine cradled in my hand, as the sky bled into soft shades of pink and orange. All week, I found myself lost in the memories of that night at Richard's house, dissecting every fleeting moment, every stolen glance, every heavy pause. Mark finally emerged, pausing just long enough before taking a seat next to me. You've been distant, he whispered. I let out a breath, heavy with unspoken feelings. I've been lost in thought. He nodded, anticipation hanging in the air. As I turned to him, a rush of unspoken feelings surged between us. Mark, I have to know. What made you pause that night? Why didn't you stop it right away? He turned his gaze, fingers entwined in a tight embrace. I never expected it to happen like this. That's not the entire truth, I insisted. You couldn't help but linger on the thought. His breath caught in his throat as our eyes locked. Yes, I did. The revelation struck me hard, a painful truth I had long sensed. I can't explain it, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. Perhaps it was Richard's casual tone, as if it were just another ordinary moment, something lovers share after all this time together. In that fleeting moment, I couldn't help but question, are we overlooking something? I placed my glass aside, arms crossed, as Mark let out a deep breath. Now I see that's not the path meant for us. That's not what my heart desires. His hand lingered in the air, trembling with uncertainty before finally brushing against mine. Liz, I can't bear the thought of losing you, yet I fear we might be trapped in this moment forever. I searched his face, yearning for truth, for remorse, for the man I once loved deeply. Then we mend what's broken, I whispered. Not by heeding voices like Richard's, but by holding on to our true selves, by choosing one another with every heartbeat. Mark's fingers entwined with mine, a silent promise in the shadows. I choose you despite everything. After what felt like an eternity, a rush of air filled my lungs, igniting a spark of hope I thought was lost. As I nestled against him, my heart raced, savoring the closeness that felt both sweet and wrong. Let's keep our love just between us, free from the expectations of others. His lips brushed softly against my hair. Absolutely. The evening lingered, tension melting into a tender, yet unspoken connection. We lingered in quiet, the burden of the last week slowly fading away. Richard's whisper of uncertainty lingered, yet it only deepened our awareness of what we truly cherished. Only each other. Thank you for listening to today's story. See you again in our latest story. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive notifications about the latest stories.